Well, good morning, friends. It is so good to see you here on this Thursday. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday Eve. Oh my gosh. Tim, I was counting on you, friend. Well, you know what? Who else we could count on? Meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, I know you'll say Friday Eve.
Yeah, of course it's Friday Eve, but thank you for reminding me, because since I was off on Monday this week, I'm having a hard time counting the days in order. So I can always rely on Channing, though, that's for sure. Hopefully you can rely on me for your forecast, because we got snow on the way tomorrow morning, and that has what's prompted winter weather advisories for the inland Northwest. This came down first thing this morning from our friends at the National Weather Service, just giving us the heads up and the anticipation of that snow that will come in short bursts Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and a third wave Saturday morning. So it is a bit of a prolonged event. What we're seeing this morning is nothing more than a few flurries. Just a few snowflakes that are coming out of those low clouds in the sky this morning. This is not particularly the main event, though. Instead, we are seeing that rain offshore off Washington's coast. That is what's going to translate into our snowfall event that kicks off less than 24 hours from now.
Today, the Medical Lake community will hold a candlelight vigil for an 11-year-old girl shot to death outside her home over the weekend. Deputies believe that her older brother killed her.
Yeah, a really tragic situation. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk uncovered new details in a search warrant and spoke to the family's next-door neighbor. He reports from Medical Lake this morning.
According to a search warrant filed in Spokane Superior Court, detectives have surveillance video which shows 11-year-old Lily Stallworthy being shot by her older brother outside their family home Sunday. Authorities say her 31-year-old brother took off after the shooting. Deputies found him slumped over in his Ford Mustang a short distance away. Detectives believe he turned the gun on himself. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. His 11-year-old sister died hours later.
It's really tragic. These are really good people, the Stallworthy family. They've raised a lot of children, a lot of good kids in the community, and so we all just feel really bad for them.
Teresa Hudson lives next door to the family. Court documents reveal Lily was the youngest of 4 adopted girls.
I helped them along the way, every step of the way, with these kids, trying to get them into a better situation than what they came from.
Lily's parents told police she had been acting up recently and ran away from home days before Thanksgiving. Her brother held on to her belongings and stopped by to return them when Lily came home.
I don't know why he shot her. I don't understand, because I didn't see them fighting out in public at all. They seemed like they were fine.
Court documents say the 11-year-old followed her brother outside to get her things. Lily's mom went looking for her when she didn't come back inside and found her lying on the street. Lily's parents told deputies they didn't hear the gunshot. Hudson says her husband did.
He heard what he thought was like a firecracker, and then the car speed off, and he looked out there. He didn't see anything. He had no idea what was going on.
Neighbors along this street are still struggling to make sense of what happened and why.
Can't imagine going through Christmas and having those missing people not there. So it's just sad. Our community could use a lot of prayer.
And the Medical Lake community will honor Lily during a candlelight vigil Thursday night inside Wilcox Park. That vigil begins at 6 p.m. and everyone is welcome to attend. Reporting in Medical Lake tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
This morning, the future site of a new electric vehicle battery plant is one step closer to opening. Governor Jay Inslee was in Moses Lake yesterday for the ribbon cutting. The new EV battery plant is being built by Sila, a company claiming to be a next-generation battery materials company. Sila says their batteries will help electric vehicles charge faster and travel farther. The company expects to hire 500 new employees for the new facility. The governor says the new plant will help the environment, but also give the state independence when it comes to producing this material.
Not just good for the environment, it's not just good for jobs in Eastern Washington, it's good for our national security, because now 90% of the graphitic material comes from China. We want to have an independent source. This is about energy independence as well.
Inslee was also a part of a roundtable with Habitat for Humanity leaders about helping low-income families get through winter. The conversation focused on how to save money by making energy efficiency upgrades. The former Pasco police officer on trial for killing a woman in Spokane Valley in the 80s will be back in court this morning. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez live in the newsroom right now for us. So Nicole, you've been following this case very closely. What happened in the first day of trial yesterday? Good morning.
Tim, good morning. So the defense and the prosecution both gave their opening arguments yesterday. The prosecution says DNA from a condom investigators found at the crime scene matched Richard Aguirre's DNA. Even though DNA processing didn't exist back in 1986 when the murder happened, investigators kept the evidence and were able to match the DNA once they had the technology in 2002. But the defense says investigators mishandled the DNA over the years and it had to have been cross-contaminated. Plus, they say investigators did not find any of Aguirre's DNA on Ruby Daas's body. Daas's daughters were at the trial yesterday and we heard from them for the first time. Lakeisha Daas was just 9 when her mom was murdered.
It's really hard. But our mother was a mother.
Now, this is the second time Aguirre has been on trial for murdering Ruby Daas. Last time was in 2021, and the judge called a mistrial. This time, Aguirre waived his right to a jury, so now the judge will hear the arguments and decide if he is guilty or not guilty. Court is back in session at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll make sure to be there and bring you updates on KREM.com and here on KREM 2. In the newsroom, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
It is 6:07 right now. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. Local real estate developer Harlan Douglas has died at the age of 86. Douglas assembled a real estate empire of commercial buildings, post offices, homes, and apartment buildings in 6 states, as well as the Spokane area, valued at more than $1 billion. For more on Harlan's life and legacy, you can head over to our website at KREM.com. An Idaho judge has ruled that cameras will be allowed to broadcast Chad Daybell's upcoming murder trial live. Daybell and his wife Lori Vallow were charged with the murders of Daybell's first wife and 2 of Vallow's children. Vallow was convicted in their deaths earlier this year. She's serving multiple life sentences. Daybell's trial is scheduled to begin in April. Idaho homeowners will see a big cut in their property taxes this year. Governor Brad Little says the average reduction in property taxes for homeowners is about 18%. Idaho homeowners should receive their property tax bill sometime this week. And the Coeur d'Alene Resort could soon see a big expansion. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, the Hagedorn Corporation unveiled the plans to the city leaders this week. The development would go along Sherman Avenue between 1st and 2nd Streets. The expansion includes hotel rooms, a restaurant with a rooftop lounge, and space for retail offices. Construction could begin as early as 2025. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Today might feel like our last quiet day weather-wise, as we are anticipating a lot of snow and a lot of rain in the coming days through this weekend. Today, nothing more than just flurries in the air out there this morning, with our temperatures in the mid-20s. That very typical for the final day of November. Though we won't see a whole lot of sunshine today. In fact, it's that cloud cover that might spit out a flurry or two, but nothing significant for Thursday. The main event really starts tomorrow morning. Could begin as early as midnight tonight, but we will see small but short bursts of snowfall through the day on Friday. Looks like the most impactful of that will be right during the midday hours. So 11 a.m. is the timestamp that you see there. That we will start to see that accumulating snowfall that'll start to affect most of the inland Northwest.